Hello, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today we are doing Chapter 5, Lesson 1, Integers and Graphing, located on page 345. Now, we just finished watching our video, and it goes over the situation that's taking place on this page. Before we continue, our essential question for this chapter says, how are integers and absolute value used in real-world situations? And we're going to talk about that in some of the examples we're going to see on the next page. Now, on this page, we were talking about positive and negative numbers with a budget, a clothing budget. We watched the video. It says, what number represents owing $8, kids? Negative 8. What number represents having $5? A positive 5. Who has the most money left? Berto. Who owes the most? Myron. All right, now let's go on to the next page, page 346. Use integers to represent data. Here we go. Positive whole numbers, their opposites, and 0 are called integers. To represent data that are less than a 0, you can use negative integers. A negative integer is written with a dash sign. Data that are greater than 0 are represented by positive integers. But kids, we don't put a plus sign for our positive integers, do we? We just put a number down without a sign in front of it. A number without a sign in front of it is a positive number, except for 0. 0 is not positive, nor is it negative, okay? Negative numbers, positive numbers, 0 is in between. It says opposites are numbers that are the same distance from 0 in opposite directions. So negative 2 and 2 are the same distance from 0. They are opposites of each other. Any questions on that? Great. Let's go on now to example 1. Write an integer for each situation. Explain the meaning of 0 in each situation. Okay, a 10-yard loss. That's going to be negative 10. When it's a loss, it's going to be negative. Okay, because it represents a loss, the integer is negative 10. 4 inches of rain above normal, that's just going to be a 4 or a plus 4, okay? The next one, a $48 deposit. Deposit means you're putting it in your account, so that is going to be a 48. Now, a word we see a lot on different assessments is the word withdrawal. Kids, when you see the word withdrawal, that means to take out. Deposit means to put in. Withdrawal means to take out. So just write that right there. Deposit, you put it in. Okay? Because it represents an increase, the integer is 48. In this situation, the integer 0 would represent it's not a deposit nor a withdrawal. Not a deposit nor a withdrawal. Okay. Here we have another little note about the number 0. The number 0 can have different meanings based on the real world context. Sometimes 0 represents an amount that does not change. 0 can also be used to represent real world ideas, such as sea level. Question?
I just needed to sharpen my pencil.
In a little bit when we're done with this. If there's a handheld sharpener, you can use the one on the file cabinet. Okay, write an integer for each situation and then explain the meaning of 0. A gain of $2, kids, is positive 2, right? 10 degrees below 0 will be what? Negative 10. Now we have to say, what does 0 mean? With the money it represents neither a gain nor a loss. 0 represents neither a gain nor a loss. Okay. In this one, 0 represents 0 degrees. Here, 0 has it represents 0 represents, because it has a spot on the thermometer, 0 degrees. Any questions? When it has a spot, then it does represent something. Any questions? Everyone good? Thumbs up? Doing okay? All right, good. Let's go on to graphing integers. We are ready to do this. Okay, graph integers. Integers and sets of integers can be graphed on a horizontal. Draw a horizontal line or vertical number lines. To graph a point on the number line, draw a point on the number line at its location. A set of integers is written using braces, such as 2, -9, 0. Okay, so those are the braces that they are referring to. Now let's look at number 4. Graph -7 on the number line. You just put a dot on -7. Any questions? I told you this lesson's easy. Number 5. Graph the set of integers -4, 2, and -1 on the line. Draw a number line, then draw a dot at the location. Well, we already have the number line here. And look, they already have a dot. Let's put a dot on -4, make it bigger. 2 and -1. Any questions on how to do that? Good. Number 6, graph the set of integers 2, 0, 2, and -3. Here, this is a vertical one. 0's in the middle. Up is positive, down is negative. On this one, to the right of 0 is positive, and to the left of 0 is negative. Okay, so here we have 0, make them darker, 2, and -3. Any questions? All right, now graph each set of numbers on a number line. Do they have the number lines drawn for you in your book? Yeah. Okay, good. Do they have the dots on your number line, just like my book? I wondered. So just make them bigger, -3, 0, -2, and 4. Any questions? And for here, 8, make it bigger, go down to -6. -9 is in between -8 and -10. And 5 is in between 4 and 6. Any questions on how to do these number lines? All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, we're ready for example 7. Aliana and her dad played golf for 4 different days. The data sets -1, or 1 below par, 1 above par, 3 below par, and 2 above par. Now, I am not a golfer, but I do know you want a low score, correct? The lower the score, you win. The lowest score wins. So that's how golf works. Aliana's scores in relation to par. Okay. Graph the scores. Explain the meaning of 0 in this situation. Okay. Well, let's just go over. -1 is here. +1. -3, +2. Here, the integer 0 represents par. And my understanding in golf is par is what you're supposed to make it in. Like you're given so many hits to get it into the hole, that's par. If you make it in fewer hits, then you go negative. If it's more hits, you have to write down how many more hits it takes. So that's my understanding of golf, which is not the best. I've only golfed a couple times. Okay, now let's do our guided practice. Write an integer for each situation. Explain the meaning of 0 in each situation. Okay, who would like to do number 1? All right, my sleepy heads. Yes.
15 times 9.
Thank you, Owen. It's 15. And the integer 0 represents neither a gain nor a loss. Here, 0 equals neither gain nor loss. A loss of 2 hours. Class, what's that going to be? -2. Here, the 0 represents the same thing. 0 equals neither gain nor loss. When I put the little marks like this below it, that means I want this, whatever's above it is the same thing that I would write down below it. It's just a little faster to do. Number 3, graph each integer or set of integers on a number line. Well, we have to put numbers. I usually put 0 in the middle, 1, 2. Now, the first number to the left of 0 is -1. The second spot is -2. And -2, you're going to put a dot right there. Any questions? Let's do the same thing for number 4. I'm going to put 0 in the middle, 1, 2, -1, -2. Here I'm going to put a dot on -1, a dot on 1, and a dot on 0. Any questions? All right, number 5. The data set 5, 0, -15, and 20 shows the number of points Delaney scored on each hand of a card game. Graph the scores. Explain the meaning of 0 in this situation. Okay, now in this problem, I am evaluating how many spots I have and how many numbers. Well, I don't have 20 lines. I think I'm going to go by 5s. Does everyone see why I would go by 5s? Okay, so I'm going to put 0 in the middle here. I'm going to put it right here. And then if this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And -5, -10, -15. Okay? Now maybe you put your 0 here and you went up to 20 and to the left to -20. As long as you can get yours in, that's the main thing. So we're going to put a dot on 5, +5, 0, -15, and +20. Here, 0 is a score. 0 is a score. And it's a score of 0. All right. Any questions? Okay. Now, let's look at this building on the essential question here. How can you use integers to represent data? Yes. What's that? Weather, that's right. Temperatures, hot or cold. Another thing besides temperatures where we have positive and negative numbers, yes. Yards in football, like game scores. Yes. Money. If you are owing money or if you have money. You kids are good. There's one more I'm thinking about. If you're on the ocean, you don't even have to be on the ocean. Everything has a certain, yes, sea level. It's above or below sea level. Very good job. Okay, now, what's your homework assignment going to be for today? These are easy problems, and what we're going to do is page 349, all. Okay, page 349, all. Turn the page. I want you to do page 350.
All of it?
I want you to try to do do number 9 on page 350. Number 10. You can choose 10 or 11. Okay. Some of you, if you're not a football person, you might do better on 11. So choose between those two. You probably will have time to do them. And then on page 351, I want you to do all. It seems like a lot of problems, but it really isn't. They're just putting numbers on a number line. Do you understand how quick and easy this lesson is going to be? All right, so that is it.